let's move on to pluralism and moral objectivism. Both pluralism and moral objectivism are a response to the weaknesses of absolutism and relativism. Moral objectivism, I don't focus on it too much. It's the one that Herman Tavani talks about in Ethics and Technology, our other textbook, and it's a fine theory, but it's based more on rational principles than on kind of intercultural dialogue and on global ethical theory development. And so it seems, concerning the themes of the course that I see play out, it seems like it's less helpful. But I think pluralism and moral, and Tavani says this, moral objectivism and relativism are quite compatible. Moral objectivism says that there may be more than one right answer to a moral issue, and that there may be definite wrong answers that, quote, fall outside the criteria of rationally defensible moral behavior. So it relies on rational analysis and allows for different kinds of answers. But it establishes that there can be universally wrong answers to certain questions. Pluralism says that there may be universal right and wrong beliefs, but that there is no absolute set of universal principles that apply to all cultures, all places, and all times. The rightness and wrongness of beliefs, norms, actions can be interpreted in different ways in different contexts. And again, advantages and disadvantages. The authors of our textbook seem to hold that these theories have the most advantages and least disadvantages of all of the meta-ethical theories that we discuss. The advantages of pluralism are it directly addresses the problems of absolutism and relativism. It doesn't rely on a universal ethical system, so it doesn't have this hubris, it doesn't have this arrogance, and it's not faced with this problem of trying to find the objective ruler by which we measure the rightness and wrongness of behaviors and beliefs. It treats the commonalities between cultures as universals. So that's the foundation of it. That is what makes it superior to relativism. It has some sort of ground. It's not just chaos. It says that we get together in a democratic process, we find what we have in common, and we work with that, and we discuss how do we interpret this differently than you do, because we both agree on this part, but we just agree we have different contextual understandings of this. And I'll give an example in a minute that will help you maybe see what I'm saying. Let's look at an information ethics topic through the lens of pluralism, the digital divide. And let's look at it from a capitalist perspective and a socialist perspective. I mean, you could say these are cultures, but they're economic orientations. But I think the example works well to illustrate this. Let's assume that both capitalists and socialists agree that the digital divide is a problem. The digital divide, if you aren't aware, is the gap between the information haves and the information have-nots. Those that have access to information and to information technology, and those that don't. This occurs within nation, it occurs between demographics, it occurs between nations. It is also the gap between those that know how to use this information and this technology and those that don't. So there's the age gap, there's the education gap, things like that. So if capitalists and socialists agree that this is a problem, a capitalist would say that through the market and perhaps philanthropy, we can create a prosperous economy that meets the information needs of its citizens. On the other hand, a socialist would say that the government has the responsibility to institutionally utilize goods and services to meet the information needs of its community. So, capitalist cultures and socialist cultures both believe that the needs of their citizens must be met. That is taken for granted. And let's say they feel that bridging the digital divide is a need that needs to be met. But they both have pretty fundamentally different views on how that can be carried out. So if they're willing to discuss this and work this out and stand firmly on this commonality, that they do want to meet they genuinely do want to meet the needs of their citizens, then maybe they can come to some agreement, maybe they can come to some compromise. And if this goes on a global scale, we're more likely to establish a very dynamic, functional, pragmatic information ethics. So that concludes the meta-theories lecture. I hope you found this helpful. And again, we could have covered many other theories, but I thought that these were the most important, and I didn't want to give you too much to chew on. And all the other theories are available to you, or many other theories are available to you in the textbooks. We covered absolutism, which states that there are objective right and wrong. There's an objective standard for right and wrong for all places and all times for all people. We talked about relativism, which says that there is no objective right and wrong, and that we can only judge the rightness and wrongness of beliefs and behaviors and norms from within the context of the culture within which those things occur. And we looked at pluralism, which finds commonalities and principles of right and wrong between cultures and allows for different interpretations. And it works in a kind of democratic manner. So thank you for listening. This is the final lecture for the semester. You can refer back to this and the critical thought and analysis lecture for your upcoming assignments, and hopefully you will. You also have other materials available to you to help you with that. And look forward to working with you the rest of the semester on the discussion boards. I look forward to see what you come up with in your assignments. Thank you.